I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're focusing on a groundbreaking initiative that's redefining mental health education. Not in the therapist's office, but starting right in the classroom. Joining us today is the visionary behind Mental Health Education, Inc., a Florida based nonprofit that created India's first structured mental health education curriculum for students and a transformational program for adults called the Mighty Champions of Mental Health. Please welcome Dr. Shivam Dubey, a trailblazer in global mental health education. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you, Logan. It's really nice to be here and talking to you. And I'm trying to tell people about this mental health education so that people can learn the coping skills that are needed to survive this world.
Exactly. Giving people tools, giving people coping mechanisms, I think they're very, very important, starting at a young age, which of course your program does. Talk to us a little bit about Mental Health Education, Inc. What inspired you to start this nonprofit? And I believe it's based in Florida, right?
Yes, so I have been practicing as a psychiatrist, and I trained at Harvard Medical School, and then I started practicing in rural Indiana.
Hmm.
And while I was practicing, I was prescribing medications, diagnosing and treating people. A young girl came to me, and she had self-harm cuts on her arms and thighs, and I was like really worried. I thought she needs to go to inpatient. And that girl that day stopped me. He said, "Doctor, I don't need to go to inpatient." I said, "Why? I worried about you." She said that, "Doctor, I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna kill myself.
Hmm.
It's just that I have this emotional stress that I cannot take care of it,
Hmm.
but I can take care of physical pain." And that struck me.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my God, what's going on in her brain?"
Yeah.
And at that time, it was like 2014, 15. Around that time, it was going on in whole world. Mental health was getting worse. We were spending billions of dollars on suicide prevention, that prevention, and treatment and hospitals, but it's not stopping. It was keep increasing. So I looked at that time into research. What is it? What can we do? So basically, to control any disease in any community, you have to have three modes of intervention: primary prevention, secondary prevention, tertiary prevention. Secondary prevention, I'll talk to you what is that. Secondary prevention is that you teach people what is depression, anxiety, and screen them. And if you diagnose them with depression, anxiety, ADHD, you treat them. That is early detection and treatment. That is what we are all doing. We are trying to figure out if you have depression, you do screening and all that. But what is primary prevention? Primary prevention is that you act even before the disease has started. Even before you have got depression, you teach the education so that people don't even go there. See, stress is inevitable. We get we our children are growing up, their parents can divorce, they can have financial problems, they can get accident, they can have disease, all kinds of things could happen. We cannot control it, but what we can teach them is how to survive.
Exactly.
And
And to understand what they're going through. I mean,
yes,
a lot of children might not understand why they're sad all the time or understand why they're anxious all the time. But your program actually gives the students and the young people the tools they need to understand what's going on up here. So I guess
yes,
that's why you believe that mental health education needs to start early in schools and not just be part of therapy or after a crisis, right?
yes. See, the children, when they are born with a DNA given to them by their ancestral parents, right? If everything is fine, your liver is working fine, your body is working fine, when you grow up, then you make core beliefs. You create, understand your identity. At that time, what we are teaching them: calculus, mathematics, geography, history. We are teaching them everything about outside. But how do about we teach them inside, their mind, their mental health, how to deal with stress? What if your parents are having fight? What you do? What if you fail an exam? What if you're getting bullied? What do? Are we teaching them that? Not just here there, but a curriculum, a subject like mathematics. The time
Exactly.
has come that we do it like that, not like just random teaching here there. Some teacher comes and give them a talk. No.
Exactly. Yeah, we have those little
Or
assemblies that come where a teacher or a policeman, often a policeman, comes and talks
yes,
about the dangers of drugs. You know, that's too little, too late, and in incremental doses. Much better to be, like you said, be part of the reading, writing, arithmetic, history, social studies, mental health education. You know, we have sexual health education for kids in school. Why not have mental health education? Now, you've actually implemented this in India. Tell us about that.
yes, yes. So we have launched a subject, mental health education. It's a proper subject like mathematics, geography. When we implement a subject in a school, the whole school changes. There is a new subject, no new period in which a teacher goes, and every week for 30 weeks, school opens for 30 weeks, around 30 weeks. Every week the teacher goes and they all have a book, and it's grade wise, age appropriate. The teacher goes into the class and teaches children about mental health education curriculum that we have created. In that
Wonderful.
class, 20, 30, 40 students, they're talking about, we are asking them questions. Why is that? Why is it? They're asking questions about themselves. Curiosity. We're talking, telling them about prefrontal cortex. We're telling them about limbic system, brain stem. We are telling them what is impulsivity, what is positivity, mindfulness, problem solving. This is taught in a structured way, and every 6 weeks they get assessment done. So
Wonderful.
it's like a formal subject that we have launched in India in schools.
I think it's much needed. I think it's much needed here. You have to look no further than the drug epidemic, the violence epidemic, the school shooters. I mean, these are all children in many cases that needed help along the way, needed to understand themselves, needed their teachers to understand them, and they're largely ignored, often bullied, and often cast aside. So I think this is very, very important. Your curriculum is actually taught from ages first grade through 12th grade, correct? And it comes with assessment book. Tell us a little bit about how it works, how teachers are trained, and how it's been going so far.
Yes, so we have a team of psychologists, and whenever we implement our program in school, first we identify the teachers, and then teachers go through a teachers training program. It's a very rigorous training in which is online, self-paced, and one-to-one. And then we do an assessment of teachers to see if they are ready, and then we certified them as mental health education educator. And this is powerful for themselves to be educated, because now they are helping their families also, their community also, because they're educated with mental health. Now those teachers then go into their schools and teach grades, every grades, different grades, and then they are involved in also assessment of the education. And what are they teaching is basically 10 skills that we have: self-awareness, self-management, relationship skills, responsible decision making, problem solving, mindfulness, resiliency. And you won't believe, Logan, that this is proven, it's research based, thousands of years, and we have been practicing it. And in recent times, research has proven that if you teach this to children early on, they will have better mental health. So why are we
They,
not investing in it?
I know. Like I said, the price we pay is very hefty for not investing in it. And I think, it lends itself to self-awareness. When children become self-aware of what's going on up here, what's going on in here, they're going to be better students. They're going to be better people. They're going to be more peaceful. They're going to know how to negotiate conflicts in a peaceful way, to resolve conflicts in a peaceful way. I think it's a wonderful idea, and I think it's long overdue. And I think you've already started this in India. I think it needs to be expanded, of course, to the United States. Let's talk about your program for adults, the Mighty Champions of Mental Health. What does it mean to be a champion?
Not just a champion. Mighty champion. There are three steps that makes you a mighty champion of mental health. First step, you already talked about it, self awareness.
Mm.
See, there is a journey from stress to disease. First, you get stressed. Then, gradually, if you're not self aware, you don't control it, you don't implement strategies to manage it, and then it leads to disease, disorder, which is we call major depressive disorder, anxiety disorder, all that. So, if you are self aware, then you can stop it early on.
Exactly.
So that is the first step. You have to become self-aware. That's a mighty champion does. Second step, we empower them with 10 mighty skills. Like I told you before, they will have to go through a self-paced program in which they are taught self-awareness, self-management, relationship skills, responsible decision making, positivity, cognitive concepts, resiliency, mindfulness, and they have to take a test assessment. When they empower themselves with 10 skills and pass the test, then they have to do the third step, which is that they have to share it with others.
Mm.
Then they are called the mighty champion of mental health education in their community, and they are ready to help themselves and others. And you won't believe, Logan, how many doctors have done this program. 33 doctors across the globe have done it. And you know what? Why doctors are doing it? Because
I,
they are
I,
the first one. They are the first one. When
yeah,
you get stressed, whom do you go to? Doctor.
exactly,
If
exactly.
doctor doesn't know about it, how will they help others? And you know what? Doctors having burnout too.
Sure.
There's a big burnout in doctors.
It's a
The
very
so-
stressful profession. Many more patients nowadays. The Electronic Record Keeping
yeah,
Act has really put an onerous burden on doctors as well. So, yeah, my friends who are doctors complain about having to type everything they hear, and they say they're reduced to, secretaries in some cases. They're writing so many notes. So, yeah, it is stressful. I think it's interesting that your program educates children in school so they can, spread the word, they can become self-aware, they can become educated as to what mental health is or what mental wellness is. And then I think your Mighty Champions program is great because then you're bringing it to the adults in the community as well. So the parents can be aware of what's going on with their children, right?
yes. That is very important. The Mighty Champions program is for parents. We have a separate program for parents.
Mm.
We have a separate program for doctors and healthcare professionals.
Mm.
And we have a separate program for professionals like you. So
To
we
help
have a
spread the
separate
word.
program for in needs of different target populations. So if you go to our website, you will see there are different programs for different
Wonderful.
population.
Now, tell us about this element you've added, a beautiful element called giving forward. Tell us how we can be more part of that program.
You know what, Logan? When is the time when you really feel calm, happy, loving, kind, and feel like you are doing something for the society? That is the time when you really feel yourself. It's a very natural thing. Giving, when you give somebody, you feel good.
Yeah,
You relieve oxytocin.
yeah.
And people are not able to give now. They don't have opportunities to give. They want to, but they don't have opportunities to give. So we are giving them opportunity to learn and give that learning to others.
Wonderful.
And that
One,
is what will make it a grassroots campaign. It's not like campaign for, it's for people to people.
yeah.
That people, the community needs to be educated, and the
Right.
educators need to share it with the community. That's how we control an epidemic, not just by filling the hospitals and clinics
Yeah.
and medications and therapy. That is all good, because if people are diagnosed a disease, they need treatment. But we also have to think beyond and start primary prevention and make
Exactly.
people strong. That's how we build the nation. That's how we build the whole world.
No, it's true. If you want to combat drugs, create awareness about drugs. If you want to combat mental illness, create awareness about mental illness. It's very much needed. Look at the road rage we have. Look at the people being so horrible to each other online
impulsive.
and sometimes in face nowadays. There's so much anger out there.
Yeah.
And I
I
think,
think what is happening, Logan, I want to tell you one thing that I have noticed is that people are becoming impulsive.
yeah,
You know what is going on? The whole social media and all these corporations and everything. What is they doing is they are they are trying to attract our attention, and all this scrolling and everything, fast food, everything is making us impulsive, crave, impulsive without thinking. We are doing things. When you are in impulsive, then your limbic system, your brain stem is acting out, and at that time you can end up doing stupid things. You can say things which you don't want to say. You can even commit suicide in being impulsive, or you can even shoot somebody. We have to go backwards. We have to activate the prefrontal cortex, become mindful. That's what the population needs to be taught. So
absolutely,
that is
absolutely.
the,
It's
yeah.
vital. Let me ask you this. If somebody's watching and they want to bring mental health education into their school or their workplace or become a champion, how can they get involved?
We are present globally. In India, we have doctors who are trained with mental health education in India, in Palestine, in Syria, in United States, in Canada, in New Zealand, in France. We have presence everywhere. If you want our mental health education program, which is structured and based on science, and we have published 4 research papers on it. If you want that mental health education program in your school, you contact us and we will guide you. We have a beautiful team who is passionate about it, and they will get it done for you.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
And
That's
if you're
great
an
to know.
adult, yeah, if you're an
Yeah.
adult, for an individual, you can just go to our Mighty Champions website, and you can enroll in our Mighty Champions of Mental Health program for parents, for doctors and healthcare professionals, and for any individual professional.
Wonderful. What's your vision for the future? Where do you see this going in the next 5 years?
Definitely, like I said, we want to create a grassroots program where people are getting empowered. They're becoming self-aware, they empower themselves, and they share. That's my vision. That's how we create this education, spread this to all over the world. We want to create a generation of these kids mindful, problem solver, and positive. This is my goal. These 3 things needs to be there, because if you are mindful, you will not be impulsive. If you're able to solve problems, because this world is going to full of problems, I'm telling you, political, all kinds of problems going to be there. You need to learn problem solving. That's what we teach in our curriculum. Problem solving, mindful problem solving, and you have to be positive. Because if you're negative, what happens when you're negative? It increases your worriness. You get anxious.
You
You
become
have to be
impulsive, you
positive.
could commit dangerous acts, you could hurt someone else, you could hurt yourself. It's as
Yes,
simple as that, right? And of course, this isn't just about mental health awareness. It's about creating a world where emotional education is as fundamental as math or science. To learn more, there is a website linked below. And of course, you can watch inspiring stories on YouTube as well that are linked in our description. Doctor, thank you so much for joining me here today and for leading this important movement.
thank you, Logan, for your time. I really appreciate that.
I appreciate your time, your insight, and your wisdom. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time until next time on Spotlight.